Well, what's the crack, everybody? How are you getting on? Welcome to another episode of the Tom and Mahoney Show. I don't know what episode this is, but fair play to you. This is Friday, the 12th of May. Well, what are you up to? If it's your first time listening, fair play. Sound for jumping on board. Have a look back. They're looking rakes. The handiest thing is probably to go, if it only shows you like 10 at a time, go over to the Instagram page for the Tom and Mahoney Show, and you'll see all the pictures of all the lovely guests and all the rest of it. Come here till I tell you, thank you to all the patrons as per usual. A couple of new ones, fair play to you. You would have gotten the ad-free version of this, as well as the video, as well as all the videos, as well as live podcasts and the Ramble Pods that come out during the week, and they are exclusive to Patreons. Been having a great time chatting with them back and forth, sending me on all the kind of weird shit that I love seeing and getting teak about. So fair play to you. The Hill Comedy Club, there are still some tickets left. I think we're about 3/4 of the way through the tickets for Jarlath Regan and Mike Morgan on the 27th of May, my comedy club in Cahir, County Tipperary. So everybody's loving it. It's turning out to be one of the best clubs in the country. It's absolutely beautiful. To get tickets to the next one, you will have to be there on the night of Jarlath. That's the rule for the next one that's coming up, because it'll sell fast. That's the rule. So if you're going, hey, I think I like the idea of the next one, because the next one's going to be a name that will sell very quickly, come along. If you haven't gotten your ticket, it's going to be a banging night. If you're like, I like to check off comedy clubs from around the country, that's what I like to do, come to my one. It's one of the best. Also, my brand new show, Thick Enough, which will be coming out in November. I will be doing a tour. I'll be doing a tour in November, starting in November. And some of the dates are already up. There's 4 of them already up for Portlaoise, Cork, the Hill, my own place, and Enniscorthy. So they're up. So go through the link in the show notes for everything I'm talking about right now. From Patreon to the Hill to anything. Almost everything is in that little link. Click on through, have a gander at that. Those tickets are, like I said, it's November. Grab them now to give me a little kick, a little joy. I will, of course, be coming to Galway, Belfast. We'll aim for something in Dublin, and there'll be a couple of more places around the country as well. Limerick is on board. Limerick is going to be a big juicy one. That's going to be a big and juicy one, so that'll be around the middle of November. Anyway, thanks as well to everybody who was really sound and listened and loved the Banana Bear Rugby podcast. We'll be back very soon with an how-to rugby pre the World Cup and all the rest of it. And also, very exciting, McBride is back. We are starting the Tom and Jerry show next week. We're starting recording the Tom and Jerry show next week. So I'm very, very excited. If you're wondering, what do you mean the Tom and Jerry show? I've never heard of this, other than the cat and the mouse. Well, there's a long-running podcast with myself and Jerry McBride. Again, go through that link. Look at the little bit that says, my podcasts. Go on in there. Have a gander. There's rakes of them there for you. Anyway, moving on to today's guest. We actually had a podcast, which I think the episodes are still, the audio episodes are still up on YouTube. You can go have a find of them. It's called a Hard Nut Podcast. I think we had about 17 or 18 episodes. They were powerful, but just trying to align our chakras, trying to align our, I suppose, work schedule. But you know what? I absolutely love every time I get to hang out with this man. It was a joy. It always is a joy. And I don't think it would leave it as long the next time. Sit back and enjoy everything that's awesome about Owen Colgan. The joy.
I've got a fucking 10.
You're looking fair well. In fairness, Mayo is fucking suiting you by.
Sometimes I look well, and sometimes I look like absolute dog shit, depending on the day, and depending on the light.
I said it to myself. I was inside in horror bathroom last night for the small little house that makes it sound like a fucking big place, but horror toilet. I was in last night. Whatever way, I was in there with the young fellow was having a bath. And whatever way I looked in the fucking mirror, I says, Jesus Christ, the fucking light in here is fair unforgiven. I looked about 74 and smoking 74 fags a day. I don't even fucking smoke. I looked horrific. She goes, don't fucking talk to me, Tom. That's the next fucking job I have for you. She says, is change out that fucking light, because that wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Beyonce would stand under that and go, I'm disgusting. I'm fucking rotten.
Oh, yeah. You'd be seeing hairs growing out of spots you've never seen grown before.
I'd fucking hairs in my forehead and every fucking... I'm like a fucking wolf looking back at myself.
And it takes you a while to come back from it then. It takes a couple of days. You're like, fuck, I thought I was better looking than that now, to
I
be
was,
honest.
do you know what? I was going around this morning going, Jesus, I was big fucking king shit of fucking Mickey Mountain on stage the other night. But I just have to rethink myself there now because there's low lighting inside the toilet there. Like, that fucking hyper lighting. Fuck that shit.
No good. That
No,
should be banned. That should be illegal shit.
no fucking good at all. And Jesus. But anyway, fucking, I tell you, whatever Zoom is doing for you anyway, you look fucking mint.
Yeah, I think that's the camera on this thing because as I was saying to you, I was doing something else myself the other day in Dublin, this thing called Cage Warriors. Did you ever go to that?
I've been to it. I have been to it. I was at it. Who was fighting in it? No. Yes, I was at it one time years ago, but I was sorry, I was thinking of a Bellator event. I can't remember who was fighting Cage
Yeah,
Warriors,
it's
but
similar. It's similar to
yeah,
Bellator.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they could even be like related companies. But I was going up to Dublin and I was like, this is fucking looking well now. Nice bit of mayo tanning on me. And then I was looking at the footage there today and I was like, geez, I look like absolute horseshit altogether. I look like fucking 46 and a bad 46. I was like, how come no one told me? People have been pussyfooting around me. I look rough and I started drinking loads of water. But I suppose it depends on the mirror as well. You have to get a good mirror.
Here tis. Do you know what? I remember saying to a fella before we were doing panto, and he was going on about getting his teeth whitened. And his teeth were the finest evermore, right? They were fucking noble teeth. Just
Yeah,
John Sharpson, he's a lovely fella. He works for RT, and he says, I think I'll get the teeth." I said, "John, your teeth are fucking lovely." Here's the thing: are you doing all you're supposed to be doing to your teeth, brushing them a few times a day? I says, "Well, that's it, so. There's no
yeah,
more to be done. A spade is a spade, John. Who you
yeah,
cotton
yeah,
like? You're going to end up with these teeth that look like a fucking skirting board inside your mouth. Go,
yeah.
just
It's too much. And the thing is, they file down the teeth altogether and they stick something else on. Like that can't be good in the long run.
I don't
Like
think he was
10
going
years from
down
now.
that route. I think he was just getting
Okay,
a heavy power washing and a bit of bleaching. I think is what he was getting done. I don't think he
okay,
was that. Don't don't even get me started about them turkey teeth. Sure,
yeah.
where are they all going to be? They'd be falling out of people say you'll nightclubs in about 7 or 8 years time. The sinks will be full of them fucking old things.
Or they still be in their mouth and the teeth will look great, but the rest of their head will be fucked.
But they don't even look like teeth, though. Do you know what I mean? Anymore, they
Yeah,
don't. It's the one stark thing looking at some fella's big swelled steroid head, like talking into the camera on fucking Instagram or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You're going, I
But
can't see it, but you're
people are because with social media now, you're looking at yourself all the time, or you're seeing yourself more than you used to. We'll say,
yes,
and
yes,
everyone
yeah,
is seeing themselves from like as I was saying about the mirrors. There, like you might find a nice mirror and you're like, okay, I keep looking at that mirror because that mirror seems to like me. But with the camera, sometimes you're like, Jesus Christ, I have a fucking massive bald spot there, or something
yeah.
like that. Like so, when it's on Instagram, I don't know. I think there's a lot of good looking people in the world now as well. Like in the streets, you'd seen a lot of good looking people like knocking around, and I think it's because they're so aware of themselves.
Yes, yeah. I'd say there was the potential to be. There's probably good breeding and better nutrition than there was, say, in the 70s and 80s and
Oh
90s
yeah,
even. But I'd say people have a better awareness of what to be doing with themselves. Do you know if you ever saw, like, I was only watching one yesterday evening. It was this fella interviewing people now, and they were like the Liberties or whatever. There's a couple of young ones, and they were saying, I have a fella, and I have a fella. And sure, the way they were kind of carrying themselves, you're going, the fucking
like
hacky, like. But you know,
yeah, yeah,
if there were girls nowadays, like, just should be fucking camera ready. You know what I mean? Like these
yeah,
young ones were bagging nerves. They were no good at all on camera, but they were adorable in their innocence. But their
yeah.
hair was all over the fucking map. They were wearing Nana's jumpers and should were only 16. But like, if it was young ones nowadays, Jesus Christ Almighty, sure there'd be a different breed altogether. Like that have eyelashes
Oh yeah,
done and fucking hair done, and you know,
and that's just the lads.
it's just it's fucking true. Do you know what I do? You're right to fucking not to be looking in mirrors because there's not, when you meet, and I met an old lad the other day, and since I've ever known him, he has actually, he was admiring my mustache, would you believe it? Because he's had a mustache like this since
Yeah,
anybody's a farmer, but he has these tufts growing up here on the tops of his cheeks. It's like this is the Gaza Strip is under his cheekbone, and he will not cross that border. And the last maybe quarter inch, whereas my
yeah,
my beard now goes right up under my eye. And Jesus Christ, I fucking shave it, but he won't. So he has these two little tufts. You could only call him
Jesus.
Tusts. And
Yeah.
but I don't think that man even shaves in a mirror. I think he
Yeah. I'm
just
sure probably keeps the breeze out of his eyes anyway.
it's like an inverted eyebrow. He's got an eyebrow underneath his eye.
Why do you
It's
do
like
the full loop? I'm
it's a set of glasses, set of spectacles, and well, what I'm saying is that man, he didn't go to me. Oh Jesus, I forgot to shave.
yeah.
It's definitely not a style thing. It's not a style thing. Like I think he's shaving the same way he shaved when he was 12 or 13 when he started shaving, and didn't bother his arse probably looking in the mirror since. Just gives it a whip
Yeah.
around, then Lou the finest. It
Yeah.
just, you know the fella now,
Just to, oh, of
unmarried.
course.
Like there's no woman to pull him on it. Like so, and that man's not looking in no mirrors. There's no mirror in the
No.
house. Do you know?
No. He's
Happy
he's
out.
he's out the door. Oh yeah. Well, happy out. Yeah, hopefully he's happy, this fella anyways.
I know you'd know by him. He'd fucking rake money,
You
sure.
would.
Yeah, he'd fucking rake money.
Oh,
Oh,
them, yeah. Some of those lads, they've been packing away money since before Bertie was wearing jocks.
you know by him like the Land Cruiser is absolutely paid off for him. When he wants, he'll go and buy a brand fucking new one again. Like just
Yeah. And do you know what? They were the cutest fuckers you could ever go to school with or ever be in class with, and saving money since secondary school, since middle of secondary school. These boys
oh,
out working. They're just like ahead of the game in a lot of ways. Sometimes with the kind of stuff that we do, like sometimes I'm like, Jesus, maybe I should have just stuck to the regular construction work, because at the very least you can build something and that's your career, and now it's booming as well. Like whether it's what we're doing is kind of, it's up and down at times too.
I ran into a lad the other day that I went to school with, and he've about 5 or 6 diggers on the go, rake of tractors, and I suppose he's a ton out of gear, rake of work, driving a right looking fucking yoke now, top of the range Audi. And you remember I told you I looked in the mirror and thought I looked 76 and smoked 76 fags? That's actually
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he
yeah.
looked like. That's actually what he looked like. He's
Oh,
sitting
he was
there,
fucking burned out, was he?
burnt out. He'd lived 3 lifetimes of stress because yokes were breaking, and the next thing a fella wouldn't
Oh,
show
yeah,
up
yeah,
to work, and all these things sound great. Like,
yeah,
and he was, well, he's just, you're fucking dead right to be off doing what you're doing. Jesus, what tool do you
yeah.
need to bring on stage? It's fucking right enough. As yeah, it's just hydraulic hoses bursting, cunts fucking pulling down fucking piers, driving into old ones. Oh, for fuck's sake!
That's it. You see, yeah. You don't see it. You don't think about it when you see it, but then when you were on the sites many a day, you'd be like, "Jesus, I can't wait to get off these sites."
Oh, stop! Oh, stop!
You'd be
Perishing
crying
fucking
into the
cold,
morning tea.
perishing cold, blowing up your fucking skirt on a December morning, pissing down rain,
Oh,
raging all the time. There's
yeah.
no happy point. You're raging. You know what I
No,
mean?
there's
Even when you do
a
get paid, you're
small
like,
glimpse of happiness on a Friday, and
yeah,
that's about it for about till the Saturday when you wake up,
yeah.
shook again from the drink or whatever. Yeah.
But we were discussing beforehand. You're going to put a fucking. I can't wait to see. I want you to. Do you know what a good episode I must send you on? Myself and Jeremy McBride did an episode last year on how to build a house from
Oh no way.
site, from greenfield site to turning the key. It's a 2 hour
Right. Was it like
podcast.
a serious thing or like
We no, it is. People have actually messaged me going, I followed that to the fucking letter of the law, because I
jeez.
built enough of the fucking things. Like, but I skipped out. Like, I didn't go what you need to do. I gave the genuine A to Z, like,
Yeah.
what to fucking be looking for. Like, I didn't go into what type of windows you should be putting in. That's your own fucking business. Like, do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
But I
yeah.
gave you the stages of what to do, like, and what to be looking out for, and stuff that people wouldn't copy. I must send it on to you. It's still myself and McBride acting the maggot, like, you know what I mean. But like, if I could ever give anybody the number one piece of advice, and one fella actually reiterated it, I met him in Galway one night. Is the best advice I ever got was from you. Is you told me on that podcast to buy a bad old van if I was going building, an old fucking yoke that could just about hold it together. And he went away and bought himself an old Berlingo, right? He says,
Oh yes, a Berlingo Kango or something like that. No, one
yeah,
of those.
he fucking it. They drew the fucking world home in the fucking thing, like, and everything was half
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
price then, like, because he was able to shop around, like, and he
Yes,
was,
you can get around the place.
oh, there's a lot to be said
That's
for a
my
van.
next purchase.
Are you getting a van?
I think I'm getting Renault Kang. I'm gonna get a van. I seen a lovely green post van there the other day. Renault Kangoo, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever see them ones?
yeah. Same as the
Or no,
Berlingo and
Renault
all the rest of them.
Kangoo, and I seen. exactly. Yeah, yeah. There was an old granny driving one, and it looked immaculate. I just thought to myself, "Geez, I wonder what she's swapping." I nearly went up to her and said, "Would you mind swapping? I'll get more use out of it." But I would think I'm thinking about getting a van, something you could throw a mattress into in the back as well, so that like if you're up and down the country, you wouldn't have to be paying, stupid money for shit hotels and stuff.
I I I still have the old Jeep, and she's a commercial version. Now I don't mind driving late at night, but I tell you one thing: the luxury of having an old sleeping bag, and I had a
Oh
yoga
yeah,
mat. I didn't bother with fucking mattress, or I'd be fucking yoga mat, fucked it
yeah.
behind the seat, and you just pull over there with the truckers. And
So you stay in there after a gig, would you?
many's a time I a good few times I've attempted to, you'd attempt to drive home from fucking Derry or some fucking place, and the next thing you'd get as far as maybe Monaghan and go, this ain't happening. I need a couple hours skip
Yeah,
and
yeah,
jump
yeah,
into the fucking back by, and oh, it was glorious, glorious.
yeah,
I will have a van forevermore. Like there will always be a van in the family. Like it's just has to happen.
yeah.
Like
Ah, no, no, this is good. Like, I'd love to get a camper van, but they kind of went a bit crazy in prices recently too. So I'm still kind of holding off on them yokes.
I wouldn't like. Could you like? I don't know if you could justify it unless you're living in America or something. Like the fucking thing will
Yeah,
sit for half the year, sitting there growing fucking grass out the front. At least with the
yeah.
van, if you had to go in and do a job, you could fuck something in the back of it too, like or whatever. Like,
It
but
like it doubles up, I suppose.
it doubles up. Yeah, fucking van. They're so class. They're so fucking
I must.
class.
I'll have to get some of the. I'll have to get some. I'm sure you know a few fellas that'll be selling good vans anyway. So I can't. I've been looking on Dundee and different places like that, but nothing's really coming up.
Yeah, people don't get rid of them. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't get rid of them. Once you fucking find a good van, by you hang on to it. I was talking with a guy yesterday, an electrician, 400,000 he had up on the van, and
Fuck me.
he said, just keep it minded. He's Toyota fucking.
Jeez.
She was a light
Let
ace
me see.
Toyota.
Let's see
He's
what's on mine here now. 2,100. 2,000. Sorry, 217,000 in this car. Opel Astra.
Oh, I'm in the Insignia, and I'd say I've about closer to 300,000. I'd say at this stage, I'd say it's just, I'd
It's
say
gone around the world a few times.
she fucking has. But fucking keep island to her, and she'd be fucking grand. That's all. Keep
That's it, you
fucking
see.
island to her.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, I was under the impression that 200,000 was kind of like the limit for cars, and then you had to kind of more or less get rid of it. But I'm
Not,
going to keep going with this one. I've a good mechanic in town there. He's an old school kind of fella, and
yeah,
he's
not like
really
that
like
bastard.
hands on.
Not like that bastard you had before when you were living up in Dublin. Do you remember
Oh
you
yeah,
did
yeah,
the Corolla that time?
yeah. That fucker, that
But
dirty
sure,
bastard that gave me a dodgy Corolla. But we've moved on from that one, anyways. Now, and I'm an open man now, so I'm going to stick to those.
they're they've never let me down. Always good fucking yokes on fuel. Hey, what was the deal with Biden anyway? If ever I can't, do you know what? I was laughing. I said the fuckers from Mayo. If ever he could be from his family, be from Mayo, a
I
county
know.
that could give less of a fuck about pomp and ceremony, it's Mayo. There's
I know.
you'll get no joy out of them fuckers. Like when it comes to being yeah,
What?
you get like not that you're miserable, but what I'm saying is you'll get no traction whatsoever. Like you might in Dublin or Wicklow or whatever, but you will get no traction out of Westerners when it comes to showing up with fucking pomp and regalia. Like it's just a
Oh no,
case of
no.
fuck
If
you.
it's there, if someone hands you a flag, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, you'll do it for a laugh." Like, but I was there on the day he came to Bellland. Sure, almost everybody was like, "Ah, yeah, we're just here for the pints,"
Of
or they
course.
were here not just pints, but they were there for the food. Like it was a great atmosphere, great crack, like, and everyone was out to enjoy themselves. And I'm sure some of Biden's family were probably like, "Oh, I can't wait to see him," but I think the majority of people were there just for the fucking crack. Nobody really. It could have been anyone at all. Like it could have been Michael Flatley, like, and it would have been the same crowd.
Just when he shouted, and one more thing,
One
mirror
more
for
thing.
Sam.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, will you? For fuck's sake.
I'd say I reckon he had two auto cues he was looking at the whole time.
Yeah, it looked a bit robotic, all right, the way he was talking.
The eyes were kind of scanning. He was like, "Oh yeah, one more thing," and he kind of turns, and you could just see him looking down. He was trying to figure out what it meant, Mayo for Sam, but he said, "I think it just clicked into his brain." But 80 years of age, man, some shape.
Yeah, he's in some. But sure, look at how many 80-year-olds do you find are big heaps of shite too? Like, if you're 80, an 80-year-old is still ripping around the place. Like, do you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. But like, fair play to him. Like he was moving around the place. He He flew into Knock, and then I think he took a speedboat then to Westport.
He did not.
No, did he? Fuck no. But you can imagine him in a speedboat,
A couple of
like Hulk
pints in
Hogan back in the
Westport.
90s.
I only thought of that the other day. What's this called? No, it wasn't Tropic Thunder.
Traffic,
Thunder in Paradise, was it?
Thunder
Was
in
it?
Paradise, something like that. Yeah,
Oh my
Thunder in Paradise.
It was so, yeah. Jesus. Oh, I just wanted to get your take on it because it seemed to not have any impact whatsoever. It was like, oh yeah, Grant. Grant,
Like I
Grant.
tell you one thing, Ballina looked really well. Like they had the whole town painted up, and everyone was in great form, and it was a great day out. Like, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't give a shite personally. Like, and I don't know if a lot of people did really, but it's like it's hard to take a fella like that seriously when there's so much crazy shit America does. Like,
No, yeah.
even though he did say Mayor for Sam, it's like, yeah, fuck, never mind all that bad shit you're doing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
As long as Mayo win the football.
Yeah, Jesus, if ever there was a shower of fuckers good at just buttering over a situation with coming out with a slogan or something, you're like, oh, just
Oh,
don't look at what we're doing in Africa, what we're doing anywhere else around the world. Just
exactly.
Mayo
But
for
they're
Sam.
so good, Tom. They're so good at it that even when I was down there, I was getting carried away. I was like, do you know what? Actually, Joe Biden, he's doing well. Like I was thinking, I was kind of getting on board the Biden train for a while. They're just fucking going around talking highly of him.
I won't have it said. I won't have it said. He's
Not
a
a
good
bad
man.
word about my great cousin. But no, but it's great. It's great for Ballina though. 10 out of 10.
No, nothing about the coronation. No, in Ballina this weekend. No.
No. It couldn't be. Well, people were kind of giving out about it. My father was giving out about it. He goes, ah, fuck's sake, I don't even know why they're showing that shit. And then I go over to the house. I'm like, are you not watching it there? No, is it not
Yeah,
on the television? He
yeah,
goes, I
yeah,
know,
yeah.
just to be given, just he'd be kind of like he'd be giving out about it. But still, if you're watching it, they have you.
You see, I think the idea of royalty and stuff like that for the likes of our parents, because they're not a million miles gone from being, underneath the cape of the United Kingdom. Like they wouldn't, it's only a
Yeah,
generation since them. Like so, I wonder is it kind of like for us watching, say, Gladiators. Do you know what I mean? You go the fucking
the
heck of
TV show from the
like
90s.
if you watched it now, you go, oh, the fucking heck it is like, but still
Yeah,
you'd give it an hour watch. Do you know that kind of way? Is it like Gladiators for them? Like kind of going, there, fuck them, turn it on there,
you mean
sure.
gladiators like Wolverine and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, have you seen it? Watch a clip
I
of it. It's
haven't.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, gladiators ready. That fella.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Is it like that for the?
for our parents, like, is it like, era, fuck them? Well, sure, watch it anyway. Sure, throw it on there and we'll have a look at it. Do you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I suppose. Yeah, you have it on the
is there still
background
a
kind of
hook?
thing.
Is there a hook still in them some which way? Like, I wonder.
Could be.
Oh,
Yeah, there could be something like that. All right. And sure, if it's on every channel and everyone's talking about it, sure, you kind of want to half know what's going on yourself.
well, the old
But
lad was bullying anyway. He was bullying all roads yesterday because they put that shit on television and you had to pay for the hurling. So he was like, for the love of fucking Jesus. Like, this.
what
Yeah, you had
you
to
had to
pay
pay for
to
the hurling?
yeah, 12 quid to watch the hurling now.
How do you mean? And on which channel?
It's all a load of the hurling channels on, what do they call it? TG Car or fucking Gold or something. You have to pay. It's pay per view now for a lot of the hurling matches.
Jeez, the GA cute fuckers. They're
Aren't they?
they're pumped. There's one pipe going into the GA, and there's not many pipes going out.
No.
It's
I
piping in
mean,
money.
the whole thing being we celebrate ourselves because we're an amateur organization. You're like, really? But
Yeah,
Etihad Airways and fucking Guinness are your main spot. Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
yeah. The top lads in the GA, they're definitely amateur.
They fucking aren't their
They're,
whole.
they're
Jesus
probably out in
Christ.
Dubai as we speak, just fucking. I don't know what they're doing out there, but geez, I didn't know that they charge for that. That's kind of bad form, isn't it?
They're testing the water on the hurling, because they do get slightly bigger numbers on the hurling apparently, and they want to see. But the football will go the same way. The football will go
Oh
the
yeah,
same way, like because that's their
everything is monetized now. So that's the nature of the internet. It's like all the good shit is nearly monetized.
mm,
All the stuff you want to, you kind of they hooked you in with the likes of Facebook and that, and now most content, even on Instagram, I see stuff popping up where it's like if you want to subscribe to my page or whatever. But maybe that's just the nature of it. Maybe that's something you have to do.
yeah. It's fucking fellas like us who are trying to move further off grid. I think it's
Yeah,
jarring, Do you know what I mean? It's fucking jarring. It's
It
just
is,
like,
Tom. You know what? It is jarring because it kind of goes against any hooks you kind of have. You know, you're kind of if you're trying to go off grid, but yet you're still relying on Instagram or anything like that. It's a bit tricky, like because
yeah. But
one of them is kind of giving away too much nearly.
but in fairness, you've been quiet on socials of late, from what I see.
I have really, you know, it's just I don't want to be putting up stuff for the sake of it, you know. And the last few years, like I was putting up so much stuff from I would say maybe since I was 23, I've been with the Hardy books, and then since about 33, we'll say till 38 or 37, you could say, flat out posting all the time, and I just kind of got fed up with it. So I'm just trying to maybe create some new content and like kind of come up with new ideas, but I'm also just trying to live my life here in Mayo and like kind of get into the farming a small bit and all that kind of stuff.
I
So
love
it's a
it.
mixture of a lot of different things, but I still have one foot in the comedy world or the social media world. Like I'm still doing stuff, but I just don't care about it as much as I used to. As in, I don't care about. It's not my main goal. Like every day, we'll say my main thing would be maybe how to live off the grid, build a shed, or maybe grow some wild mushrooms that I could sell
I love it. Yeah,
to the Japanese.
that's exactly where I was hoping you were going. Like, you know what I mean? That you didn't just wander off into the abyss, like, and take up some fucking IT job or something, but you're actually going fucking further into the wilderness,
Into
like
the
me.
whole.
We're
Yeah,
going
but
for,
at the same time, Tom, in saying that though, I do like the media, social media stuff. So I was thinking about doing some vlogs or something like that, maybe on the farm.
I think that you see that's where I was kind of going. I think that it because I know Michael Rice did a little bit, but because he's not back on the farm, Michael Rice is in England now. Like, so
Mm.
he's kind of, I won't say he's cast aside the dairy farm or whatever, but nobody would know it at this stage. So he's in any way involved in farming. Like, but I think there's a huge market for it.
Oh yeah,
Not
definitely.
market. I hate to even sound content or whatever,
I
but
know that's it. You see, yeah.
it's a second it came
It
out of my mouth, I was like, why am I saying that to Owen? What we need to do, Owen, is sit down and monetize your farm. You know, fuck's sake.
yeah,
But fierce interest, I think, for the crack. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Actually, I mean, you dovetail nicely into a bit of fucking roar, like that. You know, it's not like
That I mean,
Marcus Alera isn't going farming. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's you. Like,
That's it. You see, but as you were saying there, you don't want to give too much away either because, like, as you're saying, you don't want to monetize your home life as well,
yeah, that gets
or do you?
creepy. I don't know. It
Yeah.
gets a bit fucking creepy. Like, I mean, that has been a thing that's been bandied back and forth a few times. Like, because people hopefully will be building fairly soon here. Like, but I banded it back and forth about walking people through the process, like maybe creating a page or content
Oh yeah,
for it. Like,
yeah.
but it's like it's actually my house. Like,
That's
are
it. You
we get?
see.
Do you know? Are you getting creepy then?
But like
Like,
that's what they're doing now. That's what, yeah. But like in America and
oh
different places, they give everything away. Like the whole shebang. The family's in it. The fucking house is in it, and it's just that's just the way some people do it. You know. It's a tricky one to kind of get right because I think we're more private people in Ireland, would say, compared to well, I don't know if we are like, but I suppose some people who want to make it on social media, they're willing to kind of nearly give any privacy away.
yeah, but it's never actual privacy. I don't think because you're creating another character. It's not you who
I
fucking
suppose, yeah,
walks through the kitchen and kicks a fucking, an Aldi bag out of the way going, for the love of fuck, who's left that joke around the place?
yeah, yeah.
That
You could do funny vlogs on how to like we'll say how to do whatever, like how to hang a door or something like that.
yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. Do you know what I mean? Like on
Yeah,
how to put up a fucking plaster slab, like, and hit me up if you actually want to know how to do it. But this is the fast fucking way. Because
yeah,
sure as shit, I've bust enough fingers down through the years doing it the wrong way and doing it the hard way. I've found mostly
yeah,
the fucking handy way of doing the fucking thing, like, and getting the fucking yoke driven on, and they'll be fucking
yeah.
looking at it, like, because as we were talking beforehand, like, Jesus Christ, lads be talking about freezing points and all that fucking stuff that you were looking at there, like, and you'd be worried
Yeah,
about that. You'd be worried about that stuff at all. Do you know what I mean?
there's
Water,
a bit of skip.
water. That's the number one thing in Ireland.
Stay hydrated. Stay
Yeah,
hydrated when you're building.
stay hydrated. And also keep fucking hydration out of your building. That's the number one. That's the only thing to be worried about in Ireland. Fucking to
Yeah,
be worried about cold. To be fucking people are fucking mad putting these underfloor fucking heatings into yokes and
What do you
Herself
make of the
was
underfloor heating?
la, fucking fierce expensive. For what? Like, for what? What do we
Yeah,
need all this heat for? Who had
yeah.
the house that roasting growing up? Like, you didn't. Oh, so we all wanted. I was over the house recently, a beautiful fucking cool architectural fucking project now is what this house was. Their architect went kind of crazy and he angles in all directions, but fuck me, I'm fucking melting inside here. And this is February. I said, fucking melting. What fucking he says we have the fucking underfloor is ticking away nicely at 23, 24 degrees there. It's just that's not
Supposed
Irish
to,
people temper. That's at
yeah,
best
yeah.
a house 15 or 16 degrees. And if I want to get hotter, I'll get closer to the fire. Do you know what I mean? Or put on
Oh
a
yeah,
fucking jumper.
yeah.
I can't.
Should, yeah. Should the way we are here, like there's a breeze coming in the door, so we just have to throw on a few jumpers, or we'll like start doing a few press ups or something like that to get the heat going. But it saves you in the long run anyway. But the underground heating would be a lovely touch, but I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's kind of you're nearly better to get that heat yourself somehow. You know, like we'd say, go out and do a bit of chopping or something.
100, no, like it's not natural at all, like to have the house. No, I mean, they've been doing it for since Roman times, but not in Ireland. They haven't fucking been doing it. But like,
Mm.
I think the smart construction industry has us kind of coded into thinking, oh Jesus, you need this, and you need like I was going to buy a fireplace off a fella the other day, and I was like, as I went up to look at the thing, I didn't
A
fucking
stove
like
is
it.
at our range.
No, no, it was actually a fire surround. It was a granite fire
Mm.
surround. It was a noble looking thing, but then it was more fucking hassle than it was worth. But that's why, and it's the same fella's a block there. Why the fuck have you this pulled out? I live. It's just a fucking noble yoke. Oh, this is I blocked up the whole thing. We're doing fucking air recovery units. I want the house fucking aerated. This is the fucking telling you now. Is the whole lot goes bang. He says, I don't want fucking big fucking bills. I want to be able to heat this thing fucking. That's what you mean. I said, but sure, you must be after spending 15 or 16 fucking thousand. And he says, oh, just and then some. He says, just fucking maybe closer to 22, 23. I says, fuck me, lad. You buy a lot of fucking blocks and coal for that. You
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
him.
you would of
You could
course.
see him looking at me like I had just shit into his fucking cereal. Ah, because he'd been drinking the Kool-Aid. Listen to all these fellas on sites that you, Jesus, no fucking fires, no nothing. You're like,
Yeah,
ah. If the power goes, if the power's down for 2 or 3 days, some cunt with a fucking JCB blows a pylon out of it. What the fuck are you
yeah.
going to heat yourself with then? You know,
That's it. You
like
see, we kind of get used to the comforts, and then when we kind of push it, we get too comfortable nearly. There's nothing wrong with a bit of cold.
there's
Keeps you moving.
I'm 100%, but like I'm probably hyperactive anyway. In that I can't,
Yeah,
I'm in, I'm out, I'm fucking up, I'm down anyway. So I cannot see myself lounging for continuous amounts of time, like and I need the
yeah,
floor fucking warm as well, and everything else
yeah.
fucking
No, I'm
warm.
the same, Tom. I can't sit still. Like I just probably the only time I could sit still would be maybe an hour before I sleep. I probably could sit down and be like,
Yes,
right. And I even, I kind of have to be always moving. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it keeps me warm, but it's a bad thing because even if I'm having a conversation with someone, I'll have to stand up and do some stretches, or I'll have to do some shadow boxing or something.
yeah, I know. I've seen it. I've seen it in
Maggots.
action. I like it. I like it.
Maybe I've got maggots.
You got worms, have you? Just get
I've
that
got,
young
I've
fella a
got a
fucking
dose.
dose, a Vivamac or something. What is the farming? Is it dry stock or what are you farming? Or what are you hoping to get into?
Well, you see, the thing is, I'm living close to my father here, so he has a
Perfect.
farm.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't calling myself a farmer is a stretch. Like the most farming I've done the last year is it's been farming simulator on the PC. So,
Does he
but
even know that you're planning on joining him in farming, or is it?
no, like he was like, you wouldn't be into it anyways. You wouldn't be into it, and
That's
I'm
such an
like,
Irish
you
outlet
she's
thing to say. Like that's
it's
such
so
an
passive
outlet.
aggressive.
Oh my god! But all
Yeah, so
it's passive aggressive, but it's actually
it's also
so
sassy.
it's so layered. Actually, that it's not
Yeah.
even as that area you wouldn't be into it, but deep down, I wish you were into it. Do you know?
Yes,
And then
exactly. And
also, Jason, I wouldn't want to put you out like if you're not into it because you're doing well in the other. Oh, but would
that's
you?
it. You see it.
Do you know? Like there's so
Yeah,
many
yeah, yeah,
layers
yeah,
to that fucking one. I've gotten that off the outlet as well. Like there's so many layers. You're like, what does he mean? What
yeah,
does he
yeah.
mean, the fucker?
That's when you look them down the barrel and you say, "I'm gonna be a YouTuber, Dad," and you just look in their eyes and they're like, "I wish I never had you."
And he walks out into the middle of the 20-acre field out the back and just screams at the sky.
He's like,
Yeah.
ah, fuck you, Trump. No reason, but not even Trump. I meant to say Zuckerberg. But no, I'm only dipping my toes into it, Tom. Really, like I just like I like to kind of like play with stuff in the garden, like we'll say dock leaves and like what I can use the dock leaves for. I made some dock leaf soup the other day.
Tell me, you did not.
I swear to God, I found it. I said they're all in the garden. I said they must be there for something.
Yeah.
They must be. You must be able to use them for something apart from wiping a sting away or wiping your arse and get caught short. So I
We've
saw
all
them in
been there.
a. They
We've
were,
all been there.
we've all been stuck, and nothing wrong with it. That's what I stocked up on during lockdown. It was the dock leaves. Never mind the toilet roll.
Jesus, Owen's garden looks amazing. That thing was covered in fucking dock leaves last fucking time I looked at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, fair play to him. He's out there
How is
pulling
your
the
garden
weeds.
so good? Yeah. How is your garden so looking so well?
Big green
Covered in my own
arse when you're
shite.
walking around.
A bee sting wouldn't get near it. But just all you do is you just get them, you bring them inside and you kind of put some hot water over it and you kind of let them just kind of
Wilt.
simmer away there. Wilt away, exactly, yeah.
I've
And
had
you just
metal soup, all right, and it's supposed to be it's supposed to put nearly a second Mickey on you. It's supposed to be unreal
Oh, yeah.
iron in it, like.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the blood, I think, as well, the nettle
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, here
I think there's 2 times in the year.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. My mother is very good at that kind of stuff. She've all them old recipes in her head, and you know them old sayings that'll one for the song and 2 for the cat. And you're kind of going, what now?
Yeah.
Well, the cat is this, and it's like Jesus Christ, you're speaking in fucking hieroglyphs, woman. Just write it down. Write it down.
But 2 in the ditch is better than 1 in the pocket. Or there's so many, so many random ones that make zero sense. But actually, my grandmother, who used to live in this house here, Tom, I'll just tell you this.
Yeah.
She used to, when we were like knocking around the house, she used to have the saying going, "Ara mata the foshka," and she was like a wise woman, like so. She always had different sayings, like. But we found out that meant "Ara may death come upon you," to her own grandchildren, like. So,
and you're like,
we thought it was something sweet. Thanks, you fucker.
Yeah, Mara foshka yourself, Nana. What a weapon!
I know, but so that's the kind of farming I mean there really, Tom. But I wouldn't mind getting a goat and a few different things. But I've been warned off a goat because apparently it eats everything. Instead of a lawnmower, we'll say get a goat.
I'm not going to tell you to put a collar on him, but that's how you'd stop a fucking goat eating what you don't want to put a fucking collar on him, like, Exactly.
But, or feed him with the hand, and then he'll soon. I mean, like if you had him as a bit of a friend, we'll say feed him with the hand, take him down the road to eat all the grass aside the road and everything.
Well, you see,
laughing.
Like they're mischievous old fuckers, all right, like, but like,
yeah,
I mean, you could get a handy size goat too, a fella that can't get up to the washing line, but some of them go as big as a fucking donkey. Some of the fuckers, like
an old dwarf goat or something.
Yeah, start one of the small pygmy fellas, like, and fucking
yeah.
Now there's a fucking vlog for you. Just start your own yoga.
Find a 2-foot dwarf or a fucking 2-foot goat.
I found. Do you ever see them yokes horsetails that grow? The fucking things would bust up through concrete and everything. Them old weeds. They look like a mini Christmas tree. They grow maybe about 4 inches high.
They're good for tightening the soil, are they?
I tell you what, they're good for tightening fucking everything in you. They're horsetail. Oh my fucking Jesus! They'll write what wrong is in you. They're unbelievable fucking yokes.
Straight through you.
I was saying to she was a horticulturist in a local garden. I said, what the fuck are them yolks even called? Are they actually horse? Oh, they are horsetails. I said, you can't get rid of the fucking things. She goes, that's because their roots are about 7 foot fucking long under them. I was like, oh, well, that'll be.
I think I know the ones. Yeah, I think I know the ones. We have them there in the greenhouse, and they kind of ruin the soil a bit. They make it all tight.
They would do. They would. Yeah. They would do. But they're fucking. But in medical terms, they're fucking unbelievable for writing you every fucking which way. They're unfucking real yolks for it.
They just clean out the pipes.
Not just clean out the pipes, but they're fucking good for the heart, the fucking bloodstream, every fucking thing. Like,
yeah.
So maybe
it's all grown in the garden. Like, it's all grown wild in Ireland. I don't know much about it. So it's
Furze bush. Do you know the old yellow fucking yolks? The spiky old fucking ones, and the yellow things that grow. they're supposed to be unreal. You can make a tea out of them. Apparently, it gives you fucking superpowers nearly as well. Like, but do you know? Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah. There's another.
we'd
There's
have
a
to buy them all from fucking Joe Rogan first, like before we'd. before
exactly before you trust them. I haven't heard from Joe in a long time. I haven't seen much of his podcasts.
I dipped in and out of one or two, and sure, they start sounding fucking similar all of a sudden. Like you're kind of going, oh,
They
jeez,
do, yeah.
we're into the yoga here now, and the fucking jujitsu. Fucking 5 minutes in, and look,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You kind of go in cycles, and you end up kind of hearing the same stuff over and over again. You have to move on.
well, he'd a fella on, he two fellas on that I was after watching the show, and it was about, I'd say we probably talked about it as Ancient Apocalypse was the show on Netflix with Graham Hancock,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Another one.
he had him on, and jeez, I listened to that one now. In fairness, like, and it was just more so how they were trying to discredit your man, but he was like, I'm not telling you that there was fucking giants walking around, but he says there's no fucking way in hell that we had this huge fucking cataclysm, and then and we were fucking hunter gatherers up until about 6,000 years ago, and then lo and behold, we were able to build these fucking massive yokes, like, because the next
Yeah,
massive yoke we were able to build after that was the Eiffel Tower, and that was about two fucking 1,800 years later. By all,
yeah, yeah.
like more fucking
Of course,
3,000 years.
unless they had techniques that they must have learned. Like, how do they know of these techniques to be able to build that? Like, I don't think they built it with physical power. They must have
They didn't
known
know
how to
fuck.
work matter.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, but and he's still not even going down that road. He's kind of like, I'm just saying, we were around a lot
Yeah,
longer than the guys are fucking saying. Like, you know,
that's the Richard Hancock fella, the really soft spoken English lad, is it?
yeah.
Oh
And he's
yeah.
just and the only thing is do you know, I get people can say a word wrong, and I've gotten better at this. And like, there is actually there's it's a condition. Chris Kent told me about it because he has a lot of these. The poor fucker, like he can't stand people that eat loud, and it's actually a condition. But I don't mean gets a bit thick. I mean would run through a fucking wall after hearing somebody that eats. But you know, when somebody says a word wrong, like if they're trying to say the word specific and they say
Yeah, yeah,
Pacific. You
yeah,
go, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't correct you because we're both adults. If we were
yeah,
16, I
yeah.
could correct you. But he kept on saying the volley of the Kings when during that whole fucking podcast. And I must have turned it off 9 times. Going, if that cunt says volley, there's no. Would you fuck off at yourself now? Fuck off, Graham. It's Valley.
Yeah.
There's a fucking the Valley of the Kings. And he's like the volley of the Kings. And all he was doing was Joe thought that, of course, this was a natural English accent from wherever he was from. Like, and Joe was going, I love the way
Yeah.
you say volley. As nobody in England says volley. They don't
No,
know.
no, not like the way you're saying it there.
You know, I mean, that was the only thing.
My mother
That's
says instead of certificate, she goes certificate.
I know I can allow that because that's certificate. Like my, do you know, like the old lad calls like he doesn't call it cement, he calls it cement. Just
No.
has his. It's like you don't have to get the word finished too quick. Like it's fine, cement.
Yeah,
No cement. Okay, fair enough. Fair,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fair
Sure,
enough.
even I was saying my own name wrong till I was about 32. I was going Owen, but it's Owen. There's a W in there, and I just like, oh fuck, there is. Do you know when you'd be surprised by your own name?
No,
I was going around telling people Owen is my name. Owen. It's like, oh no, wait a minute. I think somebody actually, I think it was a Venezuelan lad. It's like, is your name Owen or Owen? And I was like, oh, geez, good question. And then I was like, oh, must be Owen. And we haven't spoken since.
that's fair specific, isn't it? Like just
Yeah.
it's an Owen or Owen. Oh, fuck it.
It was like around the time where they were moving into the house, and they were like, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Owen or Owen? I was like, oh, fuck, you've caught me out there.
Jesus, I'll go back and talk to the parents. What way did it?
Yeah, give me an hour. I'll call you back.
And how like life for the woman and everything she loves Mayo, because
Loves Mayo, yeah, yeah.
I was concerned bringing my Dublin wife down to. I knew she'd kind of like it, but she's in the long term. What way she'd fucking like rural South Tipperary, but she's embracing it fierce now.
Yeah, my missus loves it too, She likes the nature is nice and all that stuff, the walks, the space is good. But and the funny thing is she's from Buenos Aires, so she's from
Is
like
she?
a busy yeah, she's from the like inside Buenos Aires, so like I don't know how many people live there, maybe 20 million or 30. And
Fuck.
it's not she doesn't seem to be too bothered by the slow pace of life here because it is It is very slow in Mayo. Like you'd ask somebody to do a job for you, and they might tell you next week, and it could be 3 or 4 weeks away.
You just take it as a given. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You just that's just the way it goes because you can't really be forcing them to do things quicker because that's just the way the pace of life is. So very slow here, but it's very relaxing too. I find sometimes when we go into the city, it takes us a bit of a while to kind of acclimatize to the speed. Like if I go meet some friends in the city now, I'll end up I'll end up either kind of like a bit anxious or like fucking hell, it's very
Mm.
busy, or else I'll have to have a few pints to kind of just to kind of bring myself to the level that I find people in the city to be at.
That is funny, isn't it? That their vibe is running at a different
Different
octave,
pace.
or maybe
Yeah,
it's a different vibration as they talk about nowadays, like or whatever. But
exactly.
it fuck
Tesla,
it it is though. It fucking definitely is. Because I'm
definitely. Oh yeah,
sure as shit a cameraman is moving here. Sure as shit I am. Like
you sure shit. What?
I'm a cameraman is moving back here. Like and
Mm.
aggression is accepted around here, which is
Oh, you're a
hilarious.
cameraman.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
do like but much calmer. Like I remember one of the first times driving back up to Dublin, whistling the whole way. I said, this is a lovely drive now. Jeez, I forgot. I'll get myself a little bag of chips after the laughter lounge now. This will be great. In along the Long Mile Road. Traffic isn't too bad now. This is fine. Came out to get on the fucking canals. And this fella on a bike just fucking slapped off the car, just cycling, just being a bollocks, like, because he was cutting through a red light. My fucking rev counter in my brain just went from fucking ticking away at 800 revs up to 12,000. Just
Yeah, yeah,
wah, like fury in
yeah,
under half a second. Something that I hadn't felt in damn near years. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But at least I was
yeah,
mature enough to kind of go, okay, take it back down, Tom. Take it back down. He's nobody.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm the same. Sometimes you think you're patient. You're like, geez, I've turned into a really relaxed sort of fella. And it just takes one small thing, like when you go into the city to fucking ruin your day. Some lad stepping out in front of you. When you're walking on the footpath, and some fella comes out of a shop and they kind of walk ahead
Yeah,
of you, but they're walking slower than you. You're like, oh, fucking move.
I've already got palpitations now. You saying that to me, I'm like, oh Jesus, I just want to kick him into the fucking knee. Yeah, or
Yeah, but
the one that I think worldwide should be allowed though is to boot someone up the hole legally if they're walking along a footpath in front of you, a busy footpath, and they just come to a grind and halt to check their phone.
oh yeah, that
Like
should be yeah,
a boot in the hole, like man,
yeah.
woman, or child, just boot them straight up
You
the
should be
hole.
allowed to put an elbow into the back of the neck for that. Like just just one a day.
Have
How do
you?
you find the gigs, Tim?
It's got. I was going to ask you the same thing. I'm lucky enough. I've started my own club here in Tip, monthly club, and it's a fucking joy. It's a joy. Like,
Yeah,
um, I've been gigging away, tipping away, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever, but like nothing like the pace I was doing before. But I'm
yeah.
getting far more out of some of the gigs I'm doing now. Do you know, like for
You
the
have more
want
time
of
to think about it, is it?
that and the quality of a gig. Like I did,
Okay.
like it's all well and good when I was living in Dublin. You do 5 nights inside, and you're done, or maybe you might do 5 or 6 spots throughout the week. I should 98% of those people aren't even from Ireland, or will they ever remember your name, or do they engage with you because you're on a lineup of fucking 5 or 6? Like
Hmm.
it's and also like you're in a city. There's nothing special about what you're doing because there'll be some cunt blowing fire out of his hole in a fucking venue across the bridge. Like you know what I mean? There's people
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, we came to this, and you should be thankful for that. Whereas, say I was in Ballincollig in Cork the other night. It's the only show in town. Is what's going on. There's
Hmm.
nothing else on. Literally nothing else on. And the people, sure, I mean,
They're gagging
Jesus,
for it, like.
they're sitting in your pocket for the entire
Hmm.
time I was there. And it's not that my ego, it's great, yeah, but at the same time, you're like, there's a value on everything I'm giving out here because literally,
Yeah.
you're all taking it in, you're digesting it, and you're going, class, lovely. And then they want to talk afterwards. They're buying tickets to your
Yeah. Yeah.
next show. Like, so you're
Yeah.
going, oh, this is worth 10 shows. This is worth 10 fucking shows.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
so
That's
there's
a
a,
good way to look at it now. I never thought of that before, yeah, but that's a good way to look at it because I suppose it's like shopping local in a way, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
kind of keep it in the economy.
I'm not saying that I'm only ever going to gig to my people, like, you know what I mean, or whatever, but
That's what
when
I'm gonna do. I will only gig to my people. If
check
you
it,
are not from here, I will not gig.
Checking birth certs at the door, like, yeah, fucking Sligo, you can fuck off.
Get up.
Not a fucking chance. But what I'm saying is, I did a gig out the country, and I talked about this before, and it was just actually it was a road to Damascus moment. This guy, I did this gig just in the back of Beyonds here in Tipperary. I'd say I'd only ever been in this village once, twice before myself, because it's going nowhere. The next thing is a huge fuck off mountain, and to drive through that mountain pass is a whore of a drive. Lovely drive, but a whore of a drive. But you don't go that way to get someplace. You go that way if you wanted to have a nice drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be passing through it. And I was broached, just kind of going, hey, would you put on a show here? We have this venue that's going to be a restaurant eventually, but it's now just a wide open space with painted walls and a blank floor. So it's like, okay, grand. And it sold out really quick and ended up having to do 2 shows.
Oh, nice. That's in Cork, Tom, is it?
No, in Tipperary.
Oh, Tipperary, okay.
But what it was is, I'd say next to nobody there had ever in their life seen stand-up comedy before. A percentage so low that I wasn't worth talking about. But they were on it. They were in your veins, these people. Like,
yeah.
They were in your fucking veins. You wouldn't, 3 hours could have gone by and you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? It was like, what the
fuck?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
They were I came away just going.
They were just up for the crack, like.
They were on every fucking syllable you were coming out with. They were hanging on your every word. Even there was it was a bloke I was talking with afterwards. He came up and he was smoking a fag out the side. He said, "Can I?" So I Jesus Christ! I said, "You all right?" That's what the fuck? He says. I had never considered this thing that you just did. I'd never, in the same ways I've never thought about astronauts. He was aligning me with a fucking astronaut. But I think what he was trying to do was find something so obscure that this man had got 50 years on the planet he knew of astronauts, but he never once thought about how an astronaut became an astronaut, nor he knew of Tommy Tiernan, and he knew about, I suppose, Dara O'Brien's and these people, but never, ever, even in his wildest thoughts, had ever thought, wonder how that fella started. I wonder how that happened, or I wonder what it's like to be in the room to see that kind of stuff. Never.
Yeah.
But it was
maybe
just
you inspired him to do one down the line, did you? Or?
No, well, the way I don't know what he went away with, but definitely his brain had opened up into another chasm inside of his brain. He kind of wandered away into the darkness. Owen, I don't really know what. I was see Batman or something like that. I don't. It was just an odd moment. He was like, "The fucking Jesus!" He was nearly half annoyed with me in one way, like, but in a funny way, like, going, "You've broken my brain, like you've broken open the door in my brain."
Yeah. Or you've opened a new chamber of his mind.
So what I'm saying is that I'm not putting myself on a par with fucking astronauts, but dick jokes can sometimes make people laugh and laugh really hard in the country. And I personally took a lot of pleasure from doing these kind of gigs. Do you know, like, there's so much like in what the value
is. You get to meet people from, like, at the community of the town or whatever. Like, it's a great way to meet people from the town, like, and like, you make friends there for life nearly over the course of, if you do a gig there 2 or 3 times in a row, sure, it's a place you can always go to meet and hang out with people, And
still to this day, I'll get like in the local town, which would be close enough to that village, but you'll get a nod of, well, I was there that night. Yeah. Just great night, but when you come around again, and it was like, I don't know the man from Adam, but I'm like, great, but it's just a nice, positive.
And how do you find the topics, Tom? This, like, because are you always changing the topics throughout every year, or like since COVID is finished? I find like that I don't want to be talking about anything related to that, really.
Yeah.
Because I suppose people are out of it now. So I'm trying to be conscious of that.
It happened naturally. Like, I'm just moving with what my life is like at the minute. Like, in that kind of way, where it's like, I don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. Like, so
of course.
It's I couldn't find myself writing anything interesting on it. Like, but it's
boring. It's boring old stuff now at this point.
The new show that I'm writing probably is on a par with some of the stupid shit that's going on right now, but only from a tongue-in-cheek, silly Tom point of view. Like, I'm not trying to TED talk anybody into,
Yeah.
But I am kind of going, what the fuck now? What the
Yeah,
fuck now are we doing here? Like, and you'll find what I find, anyways. 99.9% of people that come to comedy clubs think the same way, or at least
yeah.
they're happy enough to laugh along with the man that's saying the words like that.
Exactly. Even if you're doing something absurd, like you're talking about something like the Biden situation, and like
Yeah,
you're talking about how absurd it is, people don't really care. Like
no,
if they hate Biden or if they love Biden, they don't really care. Like as long
no.
as you're making them laugh.
That's it. And you're average because I still get like I get asked. It was in Ballincollig. I was talking with a barman downstairs before I went up to the club because man, it must be hard with all this cancel culture. And I said no, because that's about three people on the internet. In
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scheme of things, it's so small. It's literally fucking nobody. Because
yeah,
anybody who's and I don't give a fuck about internet people. It's people that actually come to a live show. They're getting all my love. You know what I mean? They're getting.
yeah,
I don't give a fuck about making up invisible people. Like I don't care.
yeah. No,
So
of course. No, no,
it's
no, no, no. Once you forget that shit too, you become liberated. Then
oh
you can't be letting these kind of like shadowy figures kind of like hold you back.
well, there's. I mean, who are they? It's do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's some bloke who can't tie his own fucking shoelaces because his belly is that fucking big now. And he's fighting on behalf of women. You're like, yeah, I bet you're a creepy cunt behind it all. You've done some weird shit. We know. We know not to be mean to people. Actually, if you're raised halfway right, you're not even mean to animals, let alone people. You're
yeah,
just sound. How about just be sound?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it. Not that you even have. If you have to say it to somebody, then they're already fucked. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's already like a red flag. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're shouting at guys, we need to be better. You're like, yeah, yeah. You've done something. You've done something, you cunt.
yeah.
Straight away, you're like, yeah. I remember there was a load of people kind of getting cancelled and pulled during lockdown and stuff. And I remember getting a couple of messages of lads going, "Oh, what if they do? If they come after you?" I said, what the fuck are they going to come after Tom about? What are they going to come after
Yeah.
Tom about? I, man, woman, or child, I'll fight him. I'll fight him if they. I don't care. I'll fight them because they're
All
totally
three at the
wrong.
same time, go for it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're totally wrong and they're lying. So I'll definitely fight them and I'll justify it.
Oh yeah.
I'll vlog the whole thing. Vlog it. Shirt off, middle of the road. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a load of bollocks, that thing. Do you work any multimedia into your stuff? I was because I use the projector when I'm doing my stuff, and I've kind of I sometimes I would have relied too much on the projector, so I'm trying to go
Yeah.
back to just straight up stand up. But I'm still using the projector, but I cut it in half, would say, time wise.
Do you know, I
The
I have I've
radio,
there's been I was wondering who that other man was in the room with
yeah,
us.
the radio popped on.
But do you know, I've thought about it and I've fucking gone, but geez, I could explain it better with this thing.
Tom,
But
I have four
then
percent battery, by the way. That's just
oh,
so you know. But
but
right,
in to answer
no,
your
you know
question, no, I don't. But I have like this new show. There will be kind of a singing piece and whatnot and stuff like
a
that.
singing piece.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I now this might actually get me cancelled,
Sing you okay?
but it's
You want to do
fucking
a bit of
funny.
singing?
It's fucking funny. I don't care. It's fucking funny. The lead up to it is fucking funny. The whole premise is funny, and I'm trying to
And what are
do
you
this.
doing? Like, can you give us a bit of a hint there,
No,
like a pan
no,
token? Okay.
no. It's what it is. It's I'm trying to be sympathetic to what I'm saying and to the scenario that I'm talking about, but it's fucking trigger warning. Like, oh, but
Okay.
what? But I don't care. It's fucking funny. So I know multimedia it terrifies me that it would break. I did a couple of plays and you're relying on this thing and that thing, and it's actually it's in my chest and my brain going, ah, fuck, what if this fucking yoke doesn't fucking work now?
Oh, okay.
My
Yeah,
flow
yeah,
state just I can't.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I get fucking stressed. When are we going to get you down to Tip to do some fucking stand up for me? The club.
Very soon, Tom. Let me
Great.
think. Let me think now, so we can do a live exclusive on the air. Um, what month are we now? May. Is it the same time every month?
Last Saturday every month of every month.
Well, we can go June if you want.
You June, it would be perfect because somebody had pulled out only this morning and
Okay.
wait and you see who you're going to be on with. Holy fuck.
Right.
Owen Colgan
Oh
joined
yeah.
in. Yeah, I'll tell you as soon as
Oh,
I
I think
finish
I,
this
I
call.
think I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea who you're talking about. But I'm looking
Pause
forward to it.
it
We keep
it's
the
not
suspense.
it's not up on sale yet because if I do fucking people who won't buy tickets to the fucking remaining one, like the one that's still got a few tickets left. So with this one, we'll go hot like hotcakes. Right. Owen Colgan, there we
Right,
go.
Tom.
Exclusive is coming down to the fucking Hill Comedy Club in Tipperary. This is fucking very
Yeah,
exciting. Right, before your
on the
battery
tip.
shits the bed, this has been amazing. I fucking love talking to you. You're an inspirational man, a fucking strong man, and a fucking, Jesus, I mean, a healthy man. By the inspirational, really is the key word I wanted to say there and get it
I
across the
could be
way.
dead next week, Tom. As my mother would say, I could be dead
Mayo,
next week.
Mayo for sale.
Mayo for ham.
Inspirational stuff. Thank you very much. God, I do enjoy hanging out with him. The man of steel from Mayo himself, Owen Colgan. Fair play. Right, excuse me. I'm still getting over a little bit of a cough, lads. Still getting over it. The new show, it is, of course, going to be kicking off in November. Have a look in the show notes for the tour of Thick Enough, for the handful of tickets of venues that are up at the moment. The Hill, still some tickets left for the 27th with Jarvis Regan, myself, and Mike Morgan. And of course to the Patreons, thank you all very, very much as always. It's in there for as little as $3 hairs a month. You get all that good stuff like the exclusive Ramble Pod, the ad-free, if ads give you a pain in the pipe, the ad-free versions of all these are up there. As well, we do live shows every couple of weeks, and it's only a Patreon exclusive, so there you go. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time listening. Hit the little bell if it is Spotify. If you're on Apple or any of the other ones, please do leave a lovely comment, and if you can give it the 5 stars on whatever platform you're on, give it the 5 stars. Anything less than that, mind yourself, keep them in the pocket, you're fine. Right, go on away, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you again next week. Good night, good listening, thanks.